Hello everyone, thank you for watching my YouTube channel again. For this video, we are going to further understanding the basic structures of our human being brain. And then after you finish this video, so you're supposed to know different area of our brain and then different function relate to these different aspects of our human being brain. All right. Before we start this video, if you're not yet subscribed my channel, please do so. Please also like and share my video to your friends. So based on the screen right here, so you probably feel a little bit confusing. I'm going to explain to you. So in a very, very simple way, so for the brain, so you will see in different color, we have frontal lobe, we have parietal lobe, we have occipital lobe, and then we have cerebellum, we have brain stem, and then we have temporal lobe. Okay, so this video, I'm going to let you know first the location of different structure, different area of our brain, and then followed by the main function of different area. Okay, so mostly we always start from the red color area. So it is called frontal lobe. All right, so you see frontal lobe from the name of this area, so you know this is at the beginning, in front of our brain. Okay, so it's the area here, the red color. Okay, so frontal lobe always distinguish humans and animal. Because you see humans being like you, like me, we normally have very, very well developed frontal lobe. So that's why you know frontal lobe will have very, very important function for human beings. So for example, you see like problem solving, judgment, inhibition of behavior, planning, anticipation. I don't want to go through every single items. So anyway, for the function of frontal lobe, so it's always about making very, very important decision, solving problem, planning a future. So that's why you see this is some function, the ability only for human. For animal, I don't believe they can plan for future. They can make very important decisions. That's why. Like humans, so we have very, very well developed frontal lobe for this kind of abilities. Okay, so that's why you have to protect your frontal lobe well in order to perform exactly like human, right? Okay, so I understand. So some people will think. So sometimes they believe like the pet, for example, like dog. So they are very clever somehow. Okay, so that's why you see certain kinds of animal. They have very size of frontal lobe. For example, dog. So they actually have something about frontal lobe as well. So that's why dog can learn. Okay, so because some people even believe certain types of dog so actually have relatively high IQ than some other species. All right. So I'll let you know a very interesting story about a headless chicken called Mike. Okay, so at the end of this video, right? So when you go a little bit right, okay, so we are now going clockwise. Okay, so frontal lobe, and then you go parietal lobe. Okay, so parietal lobe is somewhere in the middle. Okay, so it is in the middle. So parietal lobe is very necessary for us to sense something and to move. Okay, so that's why you see senses of touch, taste, and smell. Okay, and differentiations of size, shape, and color. Okay, so that's why this area is very useful for sensation and then movement. Right? For example, you put your hand on the surface like a table, and you can feel the temperature of the table, and then you can feel the texture of the surface. So this is something about your parietal lobe function, because your parietal lobe of your brain actually helping you for sensing the world. Okay, so for example, when you smell the odor of like a flower, the walls. Okay, so a good smell, bad smell. So this is everything related to your parietal lobe actually in the middle. Okay, so and then for math calculation, some academic skills, reading, writing would be function of the parietal lobe as well. Okay, so making sure you remember the parietal lobe in the middle. Right. Okay, so we go right hand side, and then you see occipital lobe. Okay, so occipital lobe pretty straightforward. Occipital lobe basically have function about our vision. Okay, so that's why if you can see things, so if you can read, and then you can perceive light. Okay, so this function about your occipital lobe. Right, so you can recognize different people faces. Okay, you remember me, and you can distinguish the face of your good friends, and then some of your common friends. So this is a function of occipital lobe, right? So this is pretty simple. Okay, so mostly at the back, right? So this is a lot of neurons useful for your vision. Okay, and then we go down a little bit first. Okay, so because I want to finish all the loop. Okay, and then we further explain cerebellum and brainstem. Okay, so now we understand occipital lobe for vision. We know a parietal lobe basically for sensation, like touching, and then the smell, taste. And then we know frontal lobe basically for making very important decision, making you different than animal. And then now we go left hand side, at the bottom left hand side, so we see temporal lobe. Okay, so temporal lobe is very essential for auditory. Okay, so you can hear things, and then you can understand language, and then you can speak. Okay, so that's why temporal lobe is very essential for human being ability for like hearing, and then reading, understanding language. Okay, so this is very necessary, temporal, because we found a specific nucleus, specific structure somewhere at temporal lobe. This is very, very important for making people understanding language and speak. So that's why some old people after stroke, so if they have some neurons, some structure damage somewhere this area, okay, so even after treatment they can recover, but they no longer can speak well because the neurons somewhere here get damaged. They not necessarily can be recovered, right? Okay, so now we go cerebellum. Okay, cerebellum somewhere here. Okay, so this is at the bottom of the brain. Okay, so this is important for voluntary movement, balance, equilibrium, and then necessary reflexes. Okay, so this is the area pretty close to our brain stem, and then you know the brain stem is a prolonged structure which actually connect our brain and it's the spinal cord, right? Okay, so that's why cerebellum is important for reflexes, reflex motor skills. You know what's reflex motor skills? Reflex motor skills is, for example, your finger touch fire, very hot, and then you don't need your brain for further interpretation or anything. So you just move your hands, and then you escape from a very hot surface swiftly. This is like reflexes. Reflexes is something related to your spinal cord, and then if you have a functional cerebellum, so it make your reflexes very, very capable, very effective. Okay, and then the cerebellum is the area for us to coordinate your voluntary movement. Voluntary movement means some behavior you determine to behave, to act. Okay, so for example, in a classroom, you determine to move your hands up for answering question. For example, while you are playing basketball, so you must have balance the movement, and then you make a shot. Okay, and then equilibrium means you feel yourself like not too hot, not too cold. Okay, so more or less like a very, very balanced condition. Okay, so that's why cerebellum is an area if you not protected well, and then you get damaged, so you will a lot affect your movement. Okay, so that's why sometimes you put people, some athletes, so doing some sports, and then they got damage of cerebellum. Okay, so they no longer can move. Okay, so they can breathe, they still can survive, but they no longer can play sports. All right. Okay, so at the bottom of this picture, you see something called brainstem. So it is pretty simple and straightforward. And brainstem is necessary for not only human, for animal as well. Because brainstem is with a very important function, like regulate your survival needs. For instance, your breathing, your heart control, your digestion, your heart rate, your swallowing, your consciousness, blood pressure, your temperature. All these kind of things, so all very, very important for your survival, right? Okay, so you just can't survive without heart rate. You just can't survive without blood pressure. You just can't survive without breathing. So that's why the brainstem is very necessary. So when you get damage of your brainstem, so you will die. Okay, so you don't you're not only not human, you will die. Okay, so that's why brainstem is very important for guaranteeing guaranteeing your survival chance. All right, so previously mentioned very interesting case called Mike, the headless chicken. Okay, so if you have time, you go YouTube and then you search Mike, the headless chicken. Headless chicken means a chicken without head. What happened to Mike? Mike is a very, very ordinary chicken. And then one day, the owner of Mike wanted to kill Mike, like in order to cook some fish for families because of whatever festival, for instance. But the owner chopped Mike's head. Okay, but accidentally, the owner of Mike only chopped the upper part of Mike's head. Okay, so what happened? You know, for chicken, so there's not really a lot of things related to like problem solving, decision making. So that's why even the upper part get chopped, get moved away. So Mike still survive. Now you know why Mike, the headless chicken, can survive for a little bit a longer period of time, because the brain stem remain. Okay, so for example, if the owner of Mike chop the head completely, right, remove the brain stem, so Mike will die, just like other very, very ordinary chicken. But what happened to Mike? Because the Mike owners chop Mike head, only remove the upper part, but remain the brain stem remain. That's why Mike can survive for a little bit longer period of time. Okay, so this is what I'm going to explain to you, the importance of brain stem. Okay, so that's why if you are riding bicycle or riding motorcycle, so you need a helmet. You need a helmet to not only protect the upper part of the brain, the lobes, but it's very important to protect the brain stem and cerebellum. Okay, so making sure you not only can perform like a human, and then you can guarantee your survival. Okay, so this is the end of this video. See you next time. Bye.